What's up? Day one of the Get Less Fat Challenge. Um, my number's 248 today. Not insinuating that I lost 2 pounds overnight on this thing, but that's what it is. 2 pounds difference. That's probably normal. Fluctuate 2 pounds or so. So yeah, tried the Soylent this morning. Um, that's not too bad. It's a little thin, not as satiating, but it's 400 calories. It's strawberry is a little bit muted. I read online that the flavor was not too bad, but and it's not. It's if you've ever had a protein shake, it's about the same thing. Um, I don't know if I could live off that stuff. It's really thin, but it's a good calorie boost if you're trying to meter things and just get some food in the morning. This stuff's really designed, from what I've read, for people on the go that just think eating's a waste of time, and it kind of is a waste of time. Um, but that's neither here nor there. It's got kind of a funny name. If you've ever seen Soylent Green, it's not people. We're not eating people. It's a soy thing, but they played off that name. But at any rate, I don't want to ramble on. So, um, just for the log today, Soylent strawberry, 400 calories in the morning or lunch. A little bit of a bust here on the lunch. I originally had two Soylents, the 400 calorie variety, the ready-made drinkable stuff. But apparently I bought stuff that's expired, so that kind of sucks. Um, if you go on Soylent's website, they have a site a portion of that site where you can develop, or you can go and you can look up who's got what where. It's actually pretty intuitive to use. It's I kind of think it's pretty cool. Stopped at a local uh, grocery store. They had nothing there. It wasn't anywhere I could find it. Ended up going to another store, a big box store, um, and they had it, but I didn't check the expiration date. So my boss, it looked kind of like sketchy, like they didn't really sell a lot of this stuff. But so I already thought I was kind of have a little bit of stomach issues, moving to a more of a liquid diet for at least 2/3 of the diet. So I chose not to eat the or drink the expired one. It says Best Buy. But that's a whole other story. Whether or not you could eat it or not. Technically Best Buy just degrades in flavor afterwards. But after that date, it's not used by or anything like that, where it's definitely gonna be spoiled after that. But I just didn't want to take a chance. So yeah, I had one Soylent in the morning. So I try to go, keep it to the prepackaged, fast, metered, known quantity meals. So I ended up going with a Go macro bar. That's actually pretty good. If you ever get a chance, they're vegan, not that I'm into that, but that was 270 kilocalories. And then Bullhouse Farms Daily Green smoothie juice BS. It wasn't that great. But for 160 calories, that one was almost all carbs. I guess I got some grains out of it, but it was more carbohydrates than anything. So, and then I got hungry later on, so I had the salted cashews. A couple hours after lunch, maybe 4 hours after lunch, for 240 calories. So all in all, if my math real quick is correct, I'm up at 1070 before dinner. So So what's that mean? I mean, I don't know. I mean, day one, can I sustain this type of thing? I definitely think that you could. I'm hungry, but I'm not overly hungry where I'm going to go home and ravage whatever's in the fridge or in the cupboard. I would definitely have to stay away from that. Um, but what I want everybody that sees this to get out of this is um, kind of what the thought process is uh, behind what I'm doing. So, um, the first video I kind of said, like, look, I'm kicking this channel off again, and trying to get into uh, more of the outdoor experience. I'm doing that monthly, but I'm fat enough that it's uncomfortable. I'm out of shape. I'm not exercising. My work schedule kind of interferes in that. And before you start hating on me, I'm a hater on that too. I kind of feel like you should always make room to work out, but I don't, because I commit 60 to 75% of my 24-hour day uh, to work. That's combined with transit while I'm there. That includes the lunch that I was taking that was upwards of an hour to sit down and eat somewhere and spend a bunch of money. So, um, for the working folks out there that have, a job that's more than just the 9 to 5 or 8 hours a day, and you're busy, you've got kids, such as I do, you've got these jam-packed schedules where every 15 minutes, every 5 minute increment counts. How do you do this? How do you manage your diet and through all of this? So, if I had to put a bigger title on this, it'd be, how do you if you're a working mom or dad, how do you manage the diet and take this thing from an educational standpoint and learn as I learned, and everything I've done on this channel, right, wrong, or indifferent, and with the whole gear hooker project in the past, was to try to let you guys see my experience and take away from it, and kind of archive things as I go along. So I might be doing some things wrong. I might be doing some things right. Um, but what was my opinion? What was my feel? My outcome? My what was my review on what I've gotten here? So the concept is with what I'm thinking right now, and we'll see how it evolves over the next 30 days. But um, is to not spend a ton of money on specialized foods. Soylent's cheap. It's prepackaged. It's easy. It's fast. I had breakfast on the way into work today. Um, I didn't spend a bunch of time, valuable time sitting down and, um, you know, eating before work or not eating at all or, um, anything like that. So it's really easy. And this is kind of what the advantage is with the Soylent is. It's really easy to, get in there and, uh, you know, have a quick meal, get the sustenance that you need, and move on with life. And from my perspective, I know what I'm taking in, so I can kind of start to calculate exactly what I need to do to slim down, and then incorporate extra exercise behind that to increase my stamina and my strength. Um, I'm not a big fan of starving myself. I don't think that's a good way to lose weight at all or become fit. I definitely think you have to take it slow and manage your intake and then exercise to get strong and to get fitter. To me, exercise and diet are combined, but they also have two mutually exclusive um, outcomes. You can't just starve yourself to get thin, and then expect to be awesome, awesome athlete. It's not going to work. Um, so I gotta get my, and if you, what I meant to say there is, and then you try to take it all on at once. Hey, I'm gonna change my diet. I'm gonna start exercising all in the same week. There's a lot going on there. It's a lot of habitual stuff that you're changing. So, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take step one, week one, try to iron out a diet, experiment with some things, maybe take it 2 weeks. I expect to lose weight during that because I'm definitely going to be underneath what I've been eating. You know, I probably eat 700, 800 calories on a normal basis, 3-4 times a day. So I'm not surprised that I'm 240, 250 pounds, depending if I have what clothes I have on, what boots I have on. I'm not surprised, and I'm not active. I mean, I have a pedometer on my phone. I do 10,000, 8,000, 10,000 steps a day. Technically, that would consider me a semi-active person, but it's just not enough to keep up with what I'm taking in. And in the past, I've worked up to a mile swim 3 times a day, 4 times or no, 3 times or 4 times a week, and it's still not enough to really cut and get that. My cardio goes good, but I don't get the benefit of the weight loss. And that's why I say they're two mutually exclusive things. You have to manage both independently to get the synergy there. You can't expect to just do one or the other and get the combined result. It's just my experience. Now, in the past, I've started out with a workout, kind of ate like shit, and then refined a diet from there. And that was successful. But I feel like the easiest thing that can impact now is my diet. Get that under wraps, and then go from there. Now, as we move forward here, I'm not going to talk necessarily about calories all the time. I mean, that's the end goal is, have less calories than your less calories taken in than what you're expending. And I don't know what that is for me. I mean, I could calculate my base metabolic rate, but I'm getting older. I don't know what that really is. I have to research that, and in my case, I found that that's probably not correct. I'm on the endomorphic side. I've never been a hard gainer. I may require less calories to maintain a certain body weight than other people do. So, the calculation is an average. I don't have the equipment at this time to really get a good, muscle mass versus body fat versus water, and figure out my true body composition to really figure out what I think my lean body mass is to get that base metabolic rate. So, I got to kind of shoot from the hip here and say, okay, let's start at 1,600 calories a day, see what that does for me. Do I feel hungry? Do I feel satiated? Can I adjust the foods within that diet to get me satiated, and so on. So, as we move forward here, calories obviously get you into it, but in the past I used to count macronutrients, and that was a good guideline. You could almost count macronutrients, your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fat to make sure that you were getting, the right mix of stuff to give you, aside from the the vitamins and the right mix of greens and things that those, you can't eat all meat and you could live on all meat. A lot of people do, but you're going to become vitamin deficient at some point unless you're supplementing. And it's not really good for you because your fat's going to be through the roof. But you can start to count your macronutrients, and I got to look into Soylent. I got a feeling they're a little high on the fat. Just looking at the macronutrients. I don't have it with me right now what that actually is. I didn't record it, but the for today, sitting at Aside from the Soylent, I'm sitting at, let's see, 10, 20 grams of protein, uh, 74 and 84, 87 grams of carbs, and around 21 grams of fat. So if I'm willing to bet that there's a fair amount of fat in that Soylent. You guys, if you're seeing this and I haven't completed the playlist, um, check it out. See what you got there as far as if you can jump into the Soylent thing, if it fits your nutritional wants and needs. Um, but yeah, good day. Not terribly hungry. Learned some things. I don't think that the Soylent is going to, um, you know, sustain me. It's just not a filling thing. I might go and see if there's another meal replacement shake, such as I forget the outfit that does it, but it's it's called the MRE. It's a meal replacement shake. See if that is an option that I can just meter in there, for a lunch and then jam that out. And I'm not totally against any type of solids, but I just can't walk into a fast food place at this point and you know expect not to jam down two sandwiches and God knows what you're actually taking in. I don't really want or need to have that anymore, but that's my habit. And kind of looking at this as a way to change the habit and see what I can do as far as um, you know actually controlling my intake. Um, but yeah, so good day, and keep coming back if you're interested to see what we can do as far as you know being busy and eating clean or cleaner, and it's not doesn't have to be a salad all the time, and we'll start getting into these macronutrients and then really start getting this thing dialed in. Uh, and I will say this: I'm I'm a little bit scatterbrained on this because this was not something I scripted. Um, I do have a little bit of knowledge in this type of thing based on stuff that I've done in the past, um, hobbies, bodybuilding hobbies. You know, basically from bodybuilding because I talked in an earlier video about in my early 20s. I got into another into a little of a slump after a big breakup, but I had a gentleman I worked with. He took me under his wing. He was a bodybuilder himself. Got into the whole I never did any shows or anything like that, but the whole young guy doing weightlifting and got really into the science of it. But that's what really piqued my interest was the crunching the numbers on it. So but if you see none of this, I don't know. I mean, that's why these nutritionists are so awesome because they can sit down. They're doing it day in day out. They can crunch numbers and tell you, okay, you eat this meal, this when, this is what you kind of want to go for, and you really don't. That's fine if you can't figure it out. But look, if you're counting the calories, if you're getting good nutrition, they're not empty calories, and you're counting the macronutrients and you're getting good clean food. It's really kind of easy to dial in your diet. You just gotta, you either gotta kind of wade your way into it, kind of like I am now, or you gotta sit down one night and come up with a couple menus and knock it out. That just takes forever, and I'm not willing to do that right now because I kind of feel like you can just, it doesn't have to be that difficult. So, but check back. Tomorrow's day 2. We're gonna knock this out. I'm gonna see how less fat I can get, and I'm not even gonna put a number on it. I'm just gonna see how much of this dad bod I can knock out, and then, like I said, 2 to 3 weeks into it, once I get a little bit normal with this, we'll start adding some exercise in, and then start showing you guys some kick-ass stuff on with the outdoors. All right, see you tomorrow.